Hey YouTube, Sam here. Well, I've already figured out my videos for this carburetor deal is going to go way over time, so in the interest of trying to keep them around the 15-minute mark, I am going to start kind of what looks like in the middle, but you need to go find the rest of my videos. They'll be in my playlist. Go to my playlist, and I have videos for the Honda Metropolitan, 2006 Honda Metropolitan. And I'll probably have / Ruckus, because they're basically the same thing underneath the body shells. But anyways, neither here nor there. We're going to go ahead in this video. I believe the way I'm been able to splice them together, we're going to be starting on removing the carburetor. So that's what's going to be in this video, on how to get the carburetor up and out of this thing. I also have a video on cleaning up the needle valve in the top of the carburetor. If you've already watched that one, hopefully, and then came to this one. If not, go check that one out. That might be your problem. Who knows? But anyway, this one's just going to be based on removing the carburetor out of here. I'm going to go ahead and start pulling this carburetor out of here. And mainly I'm going to start at the top and move the wire that is on top of it first of all. I don't know. This does have like I believe some sort of a fuel pump in it. So I'm hoping we won't lose too much gas once I start pulling things. And I don't know. I know there's some coolant lines that actually run through, I believe, down in here. And boy, that is just nasty down there. I'm kind of wondering if I want to take this and kind of do a little bit of a cleanup first, just to keep as much crap out of it as I can. I was able to just kind of spray some stuff on this and kind of clean it up a little bit. Let's get to it. I think actually I took this off already. I think I'm going to go ahead and take this off here. I think this is just a vacuum line, it almost looks like. I don't think this has fuel or anything. Okay, I'm back with a pair of pliers here just to kind of hopefully break it loose a little bit. I want to try and not squeezing on it a lot. I'm just trying to kind of break it loose from the edges here. There we go. Okay, so that one goes there, and I'm going to stick this way down on the line so I hopefully don't lose that. And put it back through here. Let's see here. I have some concern about this too. It appears this was taped together with some electrical tape. So I'm thinking somebody has been actually in here maybe and broke this clip here, so we shall see what it is. Yeah, this definitely, I don't believe this should be this way. I got the tape off of there. I really don't know why that was on there like that. It doesn't appear. It doesn't appear to be broken or like there's wires or anything that are hurt, so I don't exactly know why this had a tape on it. This seems to turn pretty easily in here, and you're just kind of in the way, so you might get bumped here a little bit. Okay, well, I'm afraid I'm going to break these, so I'm going to get you out of my way, kind of figure out how to undo them, and then I'll tell you how to do it. Well, this one, you just push on this piece here, and it comes loose. This one over here, there's actually a piece right here you push on. It's on this side over here, and so we got that one unhooked, that one unhooked, the vacuum unhooked, it appears the next thing I need to do is the throttle cable, which I think are going to be 10 or 12 millimeter. I'm not sure, so I'll go find that in here where you can see it. It's a 12 millimeter. I think I said 10 or 12. I meant 11 or 12, but it is a 12 millimeter. And I'm just loosening up the top one here. For now, anyway. It should kind of make it so you should be able to loosen this one up. Pull it forward, bring that back to, there's like a little spot right there, and then you can get that loose right there. And then I'm going to have to do some fine dangling to show you how to do the rest of this. If you look, there's a U-shaped, the part where it pulls, this part right here. You're going to take this and just bring it around the back here, and then there's a barrel nut on the end here. And I'm going to get in the way of light and everything here. Okay, there's a barrel nut, and that just pulls out the end. There's a little space where you can pull it out right there. You probably didn't see any of that. So right here on the end, there's a little space where this little thing comes out. You just got to make sure that the wire is pointed towards the front of the bike, and it'll just pop right out. Okay, so that unhooks there. Throttle cable's off. For all intents and purposes, minus the fuel and the coolant lines, I should be able to unhook these and start pulling these off. Now, it does appear you can get this off without taking the air filter off, but it seems easier to actually probably take the air filter off. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that since I need to replace that. Anyhow, left hand side of the bike as if you're sitting on it, and here's the air filter box right here. And honestly, it's been too long since I watched this, so I'm kind of just going off memory, which my memory is no longer very good at going. But there's a 10 millimeter bolt here. It appears should do something to loosen this up. That's definitely one thing. There's it's actually down on the bottom here. I probably could have done it without removing the box. I was thinking the guy didn't remove the box when I remembered watching it a long time ago. That's alright. And you gotta be careful if those are torqued on too much and corroded. Take a good chance of snapping them off. But this bike has been inside its whole entire life that I know of, and I knew the original owner, so, or at least the owner that was last couple times anyways, and it was definitely inside. Now it does feel like it's hooked in the back somewhere here to the fender somehow, it appears. Oh, there's like an air hose or something hooked to it up here, but I think that's going to give me enough wiggle room to be able to maybe make this work. So I'm going to go with back over the top of it, and the first thing I'm going to do is, wish the last guy would have put this in not from the side, because a little bit here, but not much. I can get underneath here and just do it by hand, but from the back here. And I like just completely pushing those out pretty good. And I'm gonna take a screwdriver and carefully pry at it. You don't want to pry too hard or against any plastic pieces. Off. Okay. And now we got 2 here, and I'm just going to loosen both of them and hope. Wow, that one's already somewhat loose, it looks like. They're loose but tight all at the same time. You. Oh, bad words in my head. Alright. Well, bad words going through my head is a sign I need to walk away, so I did. And we're back again. I got this propped up against the frame and underneath here, and I'm trying as hard as I may to loosen this, and it doesn't want to go. I got this one, and okay, so I can loosen this one for right now. That's what I'm going to do. I'll deal with the other one when I get there. I don't know why they're moving yet they're so tight. It looks like they have like a spacer in there that keeps them from getting too tight, maybe. Exactly what it is. There's like a little spacer in there, so that's why it keeps you from tightening this too much. But boy, it sure does make it a pain to loosen these up. I'm going to try my impact wrench one time here. Let's see here. This. Alright, we'll try the impact here. I'm holding up. There we go. That worked. Remember that for next time. And if you have an impact driver, I tell you that's the most handy tool in the whole bunch of tools I have. It's the one I think I would take with me no matter what. There we go. Alright, so now that that's semi-loose, we'll go in here. We got a coolant line right here down on the bottom, and it looks like a fuel right here on this side, and I'm sure there's probably a coolant line on the other side, and these just have little tiny metal clips. You can squeeze them together by hand really, but a Leatherman I think will be a little more handy at getting that to come loose. Another tool I wouldn't be without if I could help it. I use it probably even more than my impact. Let's come loose. Come on. Poop head. Okay, there we go. Alright. And there's not too much of anything came out of that. You can see there's definitely fluid in there. I'm going to let some of that drain into the rag here. Actually, I don't know if that is coolant or if that's fuel. That smells more like fuel than coolant. Maybe the coolant ones are over here. Oh yeah, that's a fuel line, I believe. It sure does smell like it. It doesn't smell like coolant. Alright, so nothing else there. There we go. So these must be the coolant ones down here, and they have those little pinchy things here. So I'll get the, yeah, that's definitely a fuel line. I was incorrect on that. I'm backwards. Alright, and these have clamps down here too. There's your, yep, there's the coolant ones. Try and put those up where they're gonna not get too far away. There's the other one here. Move that back. Twist it. Always twist these kind of lines before you pull on them. If you twist them, it breaks them loose. Alright, and there it is. So, well, there we are. It's out on the bench. For those of you that are waiting for the Ruckus carburetors to be done, keep an eye out for a video coming up soon. Well, as you can see, I'm still in the same spot doing the same thing. I'm going to say goodbye. And please rate, comment, and subscribe. This is Sam, Jack of all, Master of none. You all have a good one.